right now to Senator Chris Coons. Senator Coons, respond, if you will, to the chaos that's been swirling around the State Department over the past 24 hours, and also the comments of your colleague, Senator Bob Corker, who, is a straight shooter and said what a lot of Republicans, he said publicly what most Republicans tell me privately.
Well, Joe, I'm less concerned about what private disagreements Secretary Tillerson and President Trump might have had than with their public disagreements. It's vital to our national security that our Secretary of State be able to speak with both our allies and adversaries and have them know that he speaks for the President and the United States. So when Secretary Tillerson goes out to undertake a difficult and delicate diplomacy about North Korea, for example, and the President undercuts him with a tweet saying he's wasting his time, or when Secretary Tillerson tries to advance a very tough budget that cuts more than is wise, and the Senate rejects it on a bipartisan basis. These are both difficulties that Secretary Tillerson has faced. It's not surprising to me that he and President Trump aren't very close and warm, because they're both big men, big personalities. They've been successful CEOs in business, and so the chemistry hasn't exactly gelled between them. But to me, it's less about the private disagreement than about whether our Secretary of State can advance our vital national security interests through diplomacy.
Senator Steve Rattner, so there are really at least a couple of pieces to this. One is Tillerson's relationship with the president, and the other is Tillerson's job as secretary, where there are many jobs unfilled, and we all know the whole situation over there. Do you believe at this point that Secretary Tillerson should leave for either or both of those two reasons? Do you think he simply is past the point of being able to be effective?
Well, I think that's a decision that the Secretary and the President need to reach. I am gravely concerned about morale in the State Department, about unfilled senior positions. As I mentioned, the conflict that we have emerging with North Korea is probably top of his list, yet we don't have an Assistant Secretary of State for East Asia. We don't have an ambassador to South Korea. There's not even a nominee for those positions. There's lots of other places around the world where some of the most senior positions in the State Department, we don't have anyone in front of the Foreign Relations Committee nominated by the administration. That may sound like I'm getting in the weeds, but that's who does the diplomacy. So I do think there are some real structural challenges here that's making it hard for the State Department to do its job. And I do think that Secretary Tillerson needs to look closely at whether or not he's able to make a difference and able to move forward in what is his important role in this administration.
Okay, we have to leave it there. Senator Chris Coons, thank you very much. So much on your plate on both the intelligence side and, of course, on the judiciary side as well. We'll be hearing from you more on that at some other time as well.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.